Hey, how are you? Kumusta po kayo? And thanks for tuning in to another edition of Paul Presents Art. So I'm Paul and I'll be your guide today. And today we're just outside the gallery called and Others Gallery here in Vancouver. Of course, built on the ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And we're going to go inside and have a look at a group show. Three artists, three outsider artists, who are looking at homelessness and its role in art. So I hope you can join me. I hope you enjoy the tour, and let's go inside. All right, so we're just inside the Outsiders and Others Gallery here in downtown Vancouver. And what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna give you a bit of a pan of the show. This is a new venue for them, by the way. They recently relocated from Strathcona down to the downtown Vancouver area. And so this is probably the second or third show they're having. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a bit of a tour of the show. And then I'm going to give you some biographies on the three artists that are involved. And then I'll give you some thoughts about the show. So Outsiders and Others Gallery specializes in outsider art, or art by self-taught artists, and is presenting a group exhibition titled From the Streets of Our Unfair City, Artists Who Have Experienced Homelessness. We use the word homeless, not unhoused, because it is how these artists identify. The goal of this exhibition is to bring awareness to the unseen talent that exists in that community. So like I said, there are three artists involved in the show. There's Ann Dong, Randy Pandora, and Brett Zü. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a biography on each of the three artists, and then we're going to go and show some of their works. So the first person that we're going to look at is Ann Dong. And so we're looking at this portrait of one of his paintings. And Ann Dong is a multimedia artist specializing in pencil, acrylic paint, clay, and interior design. We're just going to go to another wall with Ann's work over here, which is made of charcoal, like right over there. He was born in Qing Dao, China, where he studied fine art and worked as a carpet designer for over 10 years before transitioning to interior design. He immigrated to Canada in 2006 and became a member of the Federation of Canadian Artists. Much of his work focuses on portraiture, landscapes, and Chinese and Indigenous historical themes. We're just going to go to the other wall on the other side, but before we do that, I believe this is also another work by Ann Dong, which is a ceramic work, which is actually something that is new for him. And then we're going to go to the other wall over there. And this is also the work of Ann Dong, which is a series of paintings. Paintings of the neighborhood in Strathcona. So it's a little bit difficult to see the paintings themselves because there's like this under glass. But you know, we'll make do with what we can get away with. Now the next artist we're going to go and have a look at is Randy Pandora. Randy Pandora was born Randy Charles Conroy in Toronto. His dad was a professional wrestler who went by several names, including Killer King Conroy and the Masked Marvel. He's one of 11 kids and was placed in a foster home when he was young. He ran away at 14 and became a performer in a drag bar in Montreal, adapting the stage name Pandora after a box his mother gave him. Pandora came to Vancouver in 1976, and a year later became singer in the Generators, one of Vancouver's first punk new wave bands. So I'm showing you some of the sculptural work by Randy, but he's also very much into paintings on canvas and on board. And this is one of the paintings, which is smaller. And then this is one of the paintings that is actually, I believe it's on canvas. I'm not sure, let me see. It's mixed media. And the last artist we're going to go and have a look at is Brett Zü. And we're just going to go and have a look at Brett's work over here. There's a couple of them there. There's another one here. And then we're going to go to the other wall, which is... So Brett Zü spent his childhood moving around the Fraser Valley's Bible Belt and Vancouver Island. Despite a home which did not nurture art, Brett's uncle introduced a doodle game, which stimulated their creative eye, imagination, and continues to play a big part in Brett's projects. Art teachers at high school in Chilliwack were also a huge inspiration. Brett became a working family man for 3 decades, only deciding to become a full-time artist in 2021. He adapted the German spelling of the last name Zü. I think that's an umlaut with a double dots on the top of the U, because it looked like a happy face, and playfully refers to art installations around the city as Zü art. So this particular wall is the main wall of the gallery, and as you can see, it's a very architecturally charged space. And some of the work, especially with Randy Pandora's sculptures, in my opinion anyway, it works really well against that space, against that background. And as you can see, we're just going to go in and have a look closer at Randy Pandora's work over there. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to share some thoughts with you regarding this show. Let me begin by saying that I think for most of us, we tend to think of homelessness as something beyond our experiences, or something that happens to other people, perhaps as a result of circumstances that are foreseen, or as a consequence of life. Life may not be fair, but life goes on. I think this exhibition of work by artists who experience homelessness is a reminder that homelessness is a chronic condition, something that can possibly be alleviated through social programs and our involvement with our community. Community is a very important factor here, and when associated with homelessness, can often offer a temporary sanctuary. Being homeless exposes our vulnerabilities and therefore exudes empathy for that community. And I shouldn't refer to it as that community either. For some people, especially here in Vancouver, where the cost of living is becoming ever more extravagant, the concept of homelessness can become an academic exercise. And for some, the reality is simply one paycheck away from being homeless. Perhaps that's the role of art, and we can see that in this exhibition. Looking around this gallery, I see many portraits. There's actually a great number of them. Some of the portraits are busts from the shoulder up, like for example, this piece here by Randy Pandora, and another piece here by Randy Pandora. And then of course, when you look at these sort of like African art inspired, sort of like bicycle seats, these are bicycle seats by the way. And you also look at, let's say, the work of Brett Zü, where there are pretty much bust portraits. This one is like a whole slew of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bust portraits. It's going to pan a little bit on this work. And another one by An Dong over here, where the top part is actually a bust portrait. And it's made into a diptych by having the bottom part drawn. And so this is one of those full-length ones. And some are collages and assemblages made from found objects and materials. Like, for example, this assemblage piece by Randy Pandora. We're just going to go do a close-up because they're all bicycle seats. And there's a lot of different types of accoutrements that are put in there, like that little salad fork over there, feathers. There's actually even, I think, bullet casings, and lots of really beautiful attachments to them that kind of enhances the entire reading of the work. I've been told that most of the materials used in these works are found materials. Like, for example, with Brett Zü, who recently had a little news feature, and he did mention that 95% of his materials are found objects. So they're found materials found in thrift stores, back alleys, garbage bins, construction sites, perhaps even donated by friends. And the use of portraiture tells me something. Portraits are a symbol of pride and dignity. Asking someone to pose for their portrait makes that person feel valued, admired, appreciated, and allows personal pride to flourish. When we think of the fundamentals of food, clothing, and shelter, we realize that these are basic necessities of life, especially in the city where people can be cold and distant. So restoring a sense of pride and dignity to individuals of a community that feel undervalued, restoring it through art, either through the creation of art or being the muse for the art, validates personal self-worth. And that is the most important thing, to create an awareness for ourselves and feeling pride in our contributions towards society. It's also kind of ironic to think that art, which is pretty much the purview of the rich, the well-heeled, the educated class, can traverse an overwhelming social divide with artists who are often poor and socially underprivileged. In my opinion, art is practically the only thing that can do that, creating a bridge between the social classes, between the wealthy and the underprivileged. And art's potential as a healing practice should not be underestimated either. So I think I will leave you with those thoughts. And I think that's a good place to end things. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed that tour here at Outsiders and Others Gallery, a group show with Ann Dong, Brett Zü, and Randy Pandora about homelessness and the role of art. And if you liked it, you can click the like button down there. You can also subscribe to the channel for free. And you can share this in your social media outlets. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a great day, and I hope art continues to inform your life. And you have a great day. Goodbye.